Hello and welcome to our video about using filters and limits. In this video, I'll talk about what they are and show you how they function in a couple of our most commonly used databases. First, what are they? Filters and limits are two different names for the same thing, settings applied by databases and search engines to limit the results of your search in defined ways. So what does that mean? Well, it's just like in online shopping when you use the filters to find short-sleeve shirts that come in size medium. But in databases, you're limiting to things like publication year or article language. Limits and filters are quick ways to narrow your search by identifying particular characteristics you want in the articles. Let's get straight to it and go to the databases. Here we are on the library homepage, and we'll start off with MGH OneSearch, right here at the top of the page. As you may know, this database searches across all of our databases and can be a convenient place to begin your quest for articles. MGH OneSearch also has a similar setup to CINAHL and ERIC, two other commonly searched databases, so those will look familiar to you. I'll enter a sample search to get us going. So here we have some results from our search, but with over 19,000 articles, we'll certainly want to narrow them. As I mentioned, filters and limits are a quick way to do that. If I look over to the left side of the screen, I can see what my options are here in the Limit To section. In this case, this database gives us these three popular limits: scholarly, full text, and publication date. This particular brand of search engine gives you this fun little slide bar for the date, and you can slide it in either direction for the most up-to-date articles or for a more historical look. Okay, so the date definitely reduced the number of articles we have, but let's look at some other limits. And if I scroll down, below those three are some other options, and each one of these sections expands to give you more options. Language is always a popular one, so let's take a look at that one. We select English here, and once again it will reduce the number of articles we have. If you ever want a reminder of what limits you've actually used, you can look at this current search box where it can tell us that we have a date limit and a language limit. It also comes in handy when you switch to another search because some databases will hold on to some of your limits and filters between searches. Let's try a second search and see which ones MGH OneSearch holds on to. If I look over to the current search box, I can see that it held on to the date limit, but it didn't hold on to the English language limit. So I'll need to recheck that box if I want to add that one again. Let's move on to our second database, PubMed, because its filters and limits operate a little differently. So I'll go back to the library homepage and click on PubMed directly. I'll try our first search again. You can see that the filters, and notice that I've changed terminology because filters is the word that PubMed uses, appear on the left-hand side as well in PubMed. You can also see that PubMed uses the fun slider bar for the publication date as well, but theirs is even fancier because it gives you a sense of the distribution of articles by year with the bar graph. Let's keep scrolling down to see the other filter choices. You can see there's a full text limit and all sorts of other article type, publication date, all sorts of other limits. But there are even more, and we can click on this additional filters button to see those choices. When I click that button, this box pops up to show me all my options. On the left side here are all of the filter categories: article type, species, language, sex, subject, journal, age. You can see here that article type is selected because it's highlighted in blue, and then in this box on the right are all of the different article types we might have included in our filters bar on the left side in PubMed. Let's click on age, and let's say we were studying children. So we want to have the option of selecting any one of these age groups. So I'm going to click all of those children age groups, hit the show button, and they'll show up for me as filter options in PubMed. Now back on the results page in PubMed, I now have all of those options that I selected. And I can use any of them to limit my search. A couple of things to note about some of PubMed's filters. If they apply to characteristics of research subjects like species or age, that means your filter is actually doing two things at once. It is definitely limiting your search to articles that are about that population, but it is also limiting your search to articles reporting original research. In other words, articles that have research subjects. If you want to include articles that are more theoretical or commentary-based, you shouldn't use one of those filters. The second thing is that if you select a limit, that study will include subjects with those characteristics, but it may also include subjects with other characteristics. For example, if you select a specific age group, say young adult 19 to 24 years, all of the studies will include that population, but they may also include adolescents 13 to 18 years, and or middle-aged 45 to 64 years. We're coming to the end of this tutorial, so let's review. Filters and limits are quick ways to narrow your search in a database. They can vary from database to database, both in the choices you have, as well as how they function. Finally, and I haven't mentioned this before, but they're not always entirely reliable and are dependent on the quality of the database's indexing, meaning how consistently they apply them, and whether the database assigns all of those characteristics to every article. So you'll need to use your judgment. For example, if you're doing a search in CINAHL and you start out with thousands of articles, but then after applying a limit, go down to just a few, that might be a sign that that's not a good limit to use in that database. That does it for the filters and limits tutorial. I hope this helps you get started using the various filters, but if you have any questions along the way, please don't hesitate to ask a librarian.